which means one thing. He doesn't have it.
You're saying that we need to support this because this is the Constitution, which is the greatest legalism in our land.
Yes.
And yet, hiding behind legalisms is you want part of the law, but not both of it. I don't understand.
No. I'm just saying. If my client was natural born, if I was representing Barack Obama and he was natural born, instead of filing a motion to dismiss, I would have filed an answer saying, "Here's the birth certificate, case closed." I would have walked away. You see what I'm saying? I'm not saying they hid behind by filing a motion to dismiss. They're saying we're not going to deal with the issues. Berg doesn't have standing. I mean, this is we're not talking someone here running for dog catcher. We're talking to someone here who says, I want you to employ me for the next 4 years as your president. What's so hard to ask him for a birth certificate? When you register your child for school, you have a birth certificate. For Little League, for passport, for driver's license in some states. You know, yes.
Didn't they accept your arguments because they didn't respond legally?
Well, interesting point. In my lawsuit, we serve what's called a request for admissions. It's part of discovery. Discovery can be depositions. It's funny, I asked for expedited discovery. The judge never ruled on it, and the Obama and DNC never even opposed it, but the judge never ruled on that one. Maybe I should have realized it was going to go against me from the beginning, because I asked for in September, not the end of October, not near November. I asked to take the deposition. But aside from deposition, you can serve interrogatories, which we did. You can serve request for production of documents, we did. If you don't answer those, you can file a motion to compel. In addition to that, you file what's called a request for admissions. Admissions must be responded to in 30 days, either by an answer or an objection. During that period of time, the attorney called me from DNC and Obama and said, would you agree to stay discovery, hold off discovery, pending the decision by the judge on the motion to dismiss? And I said no, because I wanted to get to the answer. Let's find out. So they filed a motion for a protective order. I filed a motion, an answer in opposition to that. And the judge never ruled on it. So I believe since the judge didn't rule over it, it's open, and good question. What happened is 30 days went by. I didn't wait till the 30th. I waited till I think the 35th day, I gave them some extra time. And I filed that they have now admitted. So technically under the law, which we filed here with the Supreme Court, they've admitted Obama in reverse, not by coming and saying it, but by not answering and not objecting. He acknowledges that he is a citizen of Indonesia. He was born in Kenya. He's not natural born. I mean, it's all on my website. And it's really a technical argument, but it's really a legal argument when you don't answer those. So we asked the Supreme Court to look at that because Judge Surik didn't even deal with that issue.
Would you go through the McCain birth certificate issue because that's by contrast?
Well, someone sued McCain stating that he's not natural born because he was born in Panama. First off, as soon as he was sued, the first thing his lawyers did, they provided his birth certificate and they provided his medical records. And it was a little controlled. I think the medical records, you had to go in a certain room and you couldn't take any documents out, but he provided everything. And McCain, back since the late 1800s, or maybe even earlier than that, anyone in our country who has served in the military, when their children are born any place in the world, they're considered natural born. It's not, and also both, in that case, both parents were United States citizens. If both parents weren't United States citizens, you'd have a different situation, perhaps like the Obama situation. But that's why in the McCain, there's no issue there at all. Anybody else?
Yeah, one thing, who has standing? Who does have standing based on the Third Circuit court ruling?
According to Judge Surik, no one has standing. No one has standing to challenge this. Now, how absurd is this? And he said, well, perhaps Congress can set up some rules someday, basically. I mean, that's great. I mean, first of all, we shouldn't have to have that because you would think that when you sign that you're running for office that you're acknowledging that you meet these requirements. But obviously, that's not so. So we need a check and balance. Yes, sir.
Is it possible to file a similar case in another district?
Well, it's late for that. What people are doing across the country, and we were going to do more of it, but we're involved now with the Supreme Court. People are filing challenges against the Secretary of State in many states. I think it's 7 states right now, because the same thing. The Secretary of State is in charge of putting people on the ballot, and what's going on there is saying that he's not qualified. So that's going to go on. And I know it's going to happen in a few more states in the next couple of days. Then it depends the court system, what judge gets it, what they want to do with it. Yes, sir.
Regarding precedents, does that apply to constitutional law? That's statutory.
What's that? I'm not,
Precedence.
well, precedent, but there's no precedence on this.
Yeah.
This has not occurred, which means that
So
basically you can look at it two ways. You can look at it two ways. You could say someone has slipped through the system before this. That's a possibility, but I doubt it, you know, because we're a much more transparent country right now, and, you know, with the internet and stuff like that, and also we're more versatile. There's a lot of movement. Yes, sir.
How can the Honolulu hospitals ignore valid federal subpoenas?
They said they want his signature or a court order, so we were getting ready to prepare for a court order, but then the decision came against us. So that's one of the steps we would be taking. The whole thing is a short period of time. Actually, it's not, because if they complied, I filed back August 21st. This issue should, if he was a natural-born citizen, this case should have been closed before September 1st, before Labor Day. Yes, sir.
Following from my previous question, isn't it a little easier and more likely that they would just take his name off the ballot rather than take the huge step of actually postponing their constitutionally required at a specific time election? Don't you
Well, I'm asking them to have an injunction to hold off the election. No, the court can do whatever they want. They can hold it. They can ask us to come in and argue this case tomorrow. I'm prepared. They can ask Saturday or Sunday or Monday. There's time. That's why we've asked for an emergency. And it's an emergency application to Judge Souter, because Justice Souter, he handles the Third Circuit, which is Pennsylvania, Delaware, and New Jersey.